Risers, it's Coach Tina here, back for another video. Today is going to be something a little bit different. Today I'm going to introduce you to myself. I've had a couple of questions about kind of where I come from, what I've been doing, and basically what has led me to this point right here. So I'm not really a big fan of talking about myself. It's going to be quite odd, but since you guys asked and there has been some inquiry about more about what I do, I thought I would at least answer your question and pretend that we're having a conversation over a good cup of coffee. Okay, so basically since finishing high school, and we're going a while back now, I basically did a Bachelor in Contemporary Performance at Macquarie University in Sydney and obtained that degree. It was a 3-year degree. Took a year off to start getting into gigs and gigging around Sydney, Australia. Trying to get my foot in the door. In the process of doing that and live gigging, I was working on TV and I was working as a vocalist on these TV shows, X Factor, The Voice, Australian Idol, and also auditioning whenever I wasn't working, auditioning for shows as well. Obviously you can't work and audition at the same time, so the shows that I was auditioning for were not shows that I was working on at the time. And then I decided to go back to uni and study because I realized that my degree, unfortunately by itself, didn't get me very far in what I wanted to do. So I went back to uni and I got a master's degree in teaching with a double method in music, which means I'm also a qualified primary and high school teacher and taught music theory, choir, band to the students that I worked with and worked alongside with, and that was fun. The biggest thing for me is that when I got myself into that career, I had a reality check because I realized unfortunately that a lot of the teaching side of things is more administrative work than it is working with the children, and working with kids was what I loved the most, feeding off their energy, helping them wherever they could. And it was interesting because I did that for about a year. I did like 6-week blocks and blocks of teaching and realized it wasn't quite fulfilling my happiness at the time, even though I learnt so much. So then I decided that I would see if I could get a job in what I loved, aside from singing and performing wherever possible and being booked for gigs and weddings and fight nights. I remember one time I was singing to a boxing ring, which that has its own story. Don't wear heels in a boxing ring, let me tell you. I decided to get a job and I worked at a piano tuition that wanted a singing teacher. So prior to that and prior to actually working at a piano tuition that wanted a singing teacher, I was been teaching on and off since I was about 16, 17 years old. I got a few lessons here and there, a little bit of classical, a little bit of jazz, and then ended up working at what they called themselves a record company, and I was teaching young kids at the age of 16 or 17, which was an experience and really, really good. I mean, I definitely didn't know what I know now, but it was a start, and it also fueled my love for singing as well. So then I decided that I wanted to go back to that. So I found, after doing a few lessons online and a few lessons for friends and some kids, and doing some piano vocal tuition at school as a music teacher in the choir and doing a few private tips and tricks for singing, I decided I wanted to go back. So then I worked at a piano tuition school, taught singing for a bit, didn't quite agree with the way that they ran things. They had a different priority in mind, and then moved on and went to another singing school where I taught for 2.5 years, and it was so cool because they told me at the time that, you know, and I said, look, I'm a qualified teacher and stuff, but I kind of want to open up my own school one day. I hope that's okay. And they said, yeah, you know, we'll have you on board, like, come on. And that was an amazing job. And I learnt a lot of things, a lot of what not to do and a lot of what to do. And it was just amazing to be able to fulfill my day with teaching aspiring singers and people that wanted to learn how to sing. It was such a good job, so rewarding. And I had that for 2.5 years, and it was interesting because prior to that, I used to have students and even students at high school and primary school go, you know, Miss T, they used to call me, which is funny because that's the way the name I go by on stage as well. But they're like, oh, Miss T, you should open up your own singing school. Like, you'd be awesome. And you know, at first I was like, oh, kids, like they'll say anything, you know. And then after a while, I thought about it, and I was like, I can do this. I can do this because I had an innate love of teaching and had such a passion for voice, my own voice, and also helping somebody else. So I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? Why not? I'm gonna do it. I've been teaching since I was 16, on and off. I've been, you know, in the qualified teacher, so I've learned things in that area too. And I said, that's it, I'm gonna do it. So in January 2021, I opened up Brad's Academy of Music, and the success that it has had despite 2020 has been phenomenal. Because of you guys, because of the love of the students and the students that have joined the Academy, we have grown quite rapidly. Internationally too, we're having students from like America and Asia join us, and it's just unbelievable. And that's how we were able to get some amazing partners on board like ACES and Rode Microphones to come and support what we do. Even our local councils supporting us with events and things like that. So it's been amazing. The good news is that I truly believe every vocal coach should always be just a really good student. And what I mean by that is always wanting to learn, grow, and learn more about their voice and sing. So in January, actually in a couple of weeks, the end of January, I'm actually going to go back to studying. I'm still teaching, but I am going back to study to further develop my understanding of the voice, understand my own voice, and more importantly, know how to teach it more so by becoming a qualified voice technician. So I'm very excited about that. I don't think there's any shame. In fact, that's one of the things that I say about finding a good vocal coach. You need to understand that a vocal coach is always going to be a really good singing student, and they should always be wanting to learn more about their voice and how they can better yours as well by having the knowledge to know what to do to make it better and help you understand your own instrument. So it's been really, really fun. As some of you may have heard or maybe read, yes, aside from working on those shows, I have performed on those shows as well. Performing at the grand final when Stan Walker won and Australian Idol was my very first paycheck, where I was part of the singing group on the grand final. Got to meet Michael Bublé. If I've got the photo anywhere, I'll put it here. And I've been lucky to be surrounded by a lot of people and learn a lot about the industry, which comes in handy when you get artists that wanting to know more about the voice, but also performing and getting into the scene and how to audition to camera and things like that. And that's where my movie and TV experiences come into play as well. So that's pretty much a summary of where I am, and I always am going to continue to learn and be better. I'm never going to pretend like I know everything, because I just don't. And I don't think any vocal coach should say so or pretend like they do. It's okay to say that you don't know, but as long as you find out what the answer is, I think it's something that students really appreciate. So that's what I am all about. That's what's been happening. That's what has brought me to this very day. I wouldn't have it any other way. Some of the lives and people that I've met have just been an inspiration to me, and to be able to work with someone to actually build their voice is amazing. It really, really is. It is a fulfilling job, if you want to call it that. I'm very blessed and lucky to do what I do, and I have to thank you guys and all my students for, in turn, believing in my ability and wanting to be taught by me. It is an honor, and I do take it very, very, very seriously. With that said, guys, if any of you would like singing lessons from me, you can book a first assessment on our website at www.ridesacademymusic.com, and basically we're going to have a bit of a chat, learn about your goals, what you want for yourself, obviously hear you sing, get an idea of your range, and just ask you some questions so that we can tailor lessons for you. So we can do that if you like. I want to say once again that thank you very much for allowing me to do what I love and for trusting me with your voice. It really is a pleasure, and thank you for watching time and time again on this YouTube channel. Guys, if you want to support us a little bit more, there's no obligation, but we just released some merch and some apparel or uniform. No obligation, but I wanted to show you. So this is one of them. It's the Sing Now, Think Later, because in singing, it is very normal to always think way too much when we're performing. And we've got various other ones as well, so you can check that out at our shop. If you guys have any more questions and kind of like this style of video, want to know a bit more about me, put in the comments down below, and yeah, if we get enough questions, I can do this video for you again soon. All right, guys, I hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you next time. Bye.